Welcome back to another edition of the Singletrack Session here with the TrailManners podcast. We are on number 107. I'm one of the hosts, Eric Manning, with Joel Hatch, and we are going to talk about some stuff today.
Okay.
Not a ton.
No.
Not a ton of races.
Slow week.
It was a slow week, and there are obviously races. There's races every weekend, but
yeah.
Got to take a break from covering all the races, I think.
Well, I did read this morning that the number of trail races increased 343% between the year 2004 and 2014.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That's a big percentage.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I'm not so good with the math, but I think that's a big number.
It's 300+%.
Yeah.
That's more than I've got to raise my whole life.
Right.
That's a lot. And I mean, we see them all the time. You know, I've seen some struggles, I guess, in areas.
Yeah.
Where they complain about them and stuff. So it's just growing. It's a growing sport.
Yeah.
And they're still selling out.
Uh-huh.
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
We haven't hit peak, saturation just yet. But I think we're getting close.
It's just a matter of when we're going to run out of space.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's true. But, thinking about that, there's lots of places that still can host a race.
Yeah.
I was stretching somebody out the other day, and he was asking me about the trails north of Beaver ski area.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was up there on his moto, and he goes, "You guys ever run up there?" I said, "Well, the Bear 100 goes that way." And so he starts telling me about that trail system and how far north it goes.
Yeah.
First thing I thought about, I was like, that'd be a good place to do a 100-miler.
Right?
Yeah, because it goes all the way up to Soda Springs.
Okay.
That double track road, and it does double track, single track, and it goes all the way up to Soda Springs. And then he goes, yeah, and then he goes, I think it also goes all the way up to Island Park.
Holy cow.
I was like, dang, that's a long way.
That is. That's the next. Get a hold of Candace.
Yeah, right.
Candace.
Yeah, but then you're up in, like, grizzly country, and heck with that.
Yeah, there's no bueno on that.
No way.
Grizzly bears are big.
They're big, they're scary, they're pretty, but I don't want to run in their hood.
Yeah, that's their hood, right?
Yeah.
They've already claimed that turf. That's their set.
Yeah.
They're from. Yeah, but there's a lot. And we keep having conversations with people. We get messages asking, about how to put on a trail race, things we've learned, things in which we're happy to share because, as long as you don't do it on my weekend, on my course, you're happy. I'm happy.
Or
right?
the weekend before or the weekend after.
Yeah, that's right. We like to protect our own. And then, this past week, speaking of races, this past week we had Aaron Hill on the show on Tuesday. So episode 122.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
She was just gracious as can be by offering food and arm sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
Now the weather's getting chilly.
Yeah.
I can get my tatted arm sleeves on and rock it.
Yep.
I crushed the cheese curds. The green Hatch chili ones were ridiculous.
Were they?
Oh, my gosh.
Good.
Just enough zing, but not too much. So that was really good. But she was a lot of fun. She was nervous, like she mentioned.
Yeah, for the first, 10 seconds.
Yeah, and if you listen to the podcast, but she was a natural. She was really good. The best part, and I'm going to share this without permission because it's not a huge deal. She sent me a message where her daughter was interviewing her husband. Like just in their front room, she had some like little microphone acting like she was podcasting the Mr. Mustache podcast to her husband. It was really cute. It was funny, and she's like, I just can't stop laughing.
That's awesome.
She showed it to me. I was like, that's really cool. So great family, and I think she's had an anniversary. Yeah, this weekend or week, and either
something
way,
like that.
Yeah, happy anniversary to Aaron and Chris. This week we got a podcast we're recording for next Tuesday, which we're super pumped about.
Yep.
A guy we've wanted to get on the show. Joel made the contact, and just like that, wham, bam, a couple days later, we're going to be talking with Mark Hammond.
Yeah.
For episode 123 next week. As Mark, as you know, Mark is from our area, Salt Lake City, and he's been crushing it for years. Right. This year's been a big year for him. Rant went over, did UTMB for a little while. Didn't have a great day. Came back, did second place at Run Rabbit Run, which is like his third or fourth time, finishing second there.
Did well at Western States, right?
Yep. So we'll have him on the show for next Tuesday, so stay tuned to that. And just got more piling up now, kind of getting things taken care of. But, we're looking forward to talking to Mark this week and posting that for Tuesday. First show in October. October's almost here.
It is.
Holy crap.
It feels like it in the morning now.
Yeah. Well, I told you last night I went to watch a U12 soccer game, a boys team. Right. And I put a jacket on. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is the first time I put a jacket on in quite some time.
So my son's running cross country.
Oh, sweet.
He's got practice on Monday and Wednesday after school. And so this past Monday, I was just hanging out, in the shade up in Mount Ogden Park.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And it was chilly in the shade at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't have a jacket. I didn't have a blanket to put over my legs.
Yeah, like we talked about. Yeah. Like the old man.
So I had to go sit in the sun because I was so cold.
I could see that. Yeah. I got West Nile yesterday from all the mosquitoes.
Right.
And it got chilly. So the weather's changing. But, yeah, October is here.
Yep.
And I just saw this morning that, I don't know if I should say this, but El Vaquero opens October 1st.
Does it?
So I think I'm going to pull the trigger for next year.
It could be the last one.
Yeah, I missed it this year. Just flipping burgers was fun, but I missed that race.
It's nothing like suffering that 7 miles of uphill.
No, not at all.
Right.
Yeah. You got to waterboard yourself in that creek once in a while.
That's right.
And you mentioned, and I haven't seen it yet, but Patagonia has put out a video of a family in Silverton that trail runs.
Yeah, they're based in Silverton. They live there, and it kind of documents how the husband and wife met and their struggles with maybe some alcoholism and just kind of self-loathing, and how they work through that, and at the same time how they're raising a family of 3.
Wow.
3 kids, so they're family of 5, I guess. In Silverton, which is not exactly the easiest place to make a living.
No.
Right?
Or live.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But it shows them running in the mountains as a family, and it's really well done. Great cinematography. Storyline's fantastic.
I have to find that and throw that on as a link.
Yeah, it's
I'll
good
work
stuff.
on that. If you see it, it's on there. It'll be linked, hopefully. If I can't find it, it won't be. You can look for it yourself.
Right.
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm excited to take a look at it. It's also National Trail Running Week.
Right.
And I know Solomon's doing a lot for that. And locally here, Amersport's doing some cool stuff for that as well.
Right.
And if you listen to the show, there's a pretty good chance you're a trail runner.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be a 100% trail runner.
Or a cheese curd fan.
Yeah, cheese curd IPA. It's a National Trail Running Week. I don't know what that means other than just go out and run.
Yeah. So it's just a normal week?
Yeah, so it's kind of a normal week.
Right.
I don't know if there's anything special. Maybe there's some virtual runs going that you can join.
Don't get us started on that.
So National Trail Running Week. I didn't put a tree up or any decorations. I
like that idea. Tree up.
Yeah, I just put a little aspen tree in the corners.
Yeah.
I don't know. Throw some dirt on the carpet. I don't know what it is.
Aspen tree, and then set up a little aid station in the corner.
Oh, that would be awesome. I need to do that so it looks like you're leaving cookies for Santa, but it's like got a gel, a wafer.
Exactly. You got a chair there for check in and check out aid stations.
Squirrels Nut Butter.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what we're going to start.
I got a funny story about Squirrels Nut Butter, but let's finish this national trail run.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe, I don't know, probably we'll do it because we don't get a huge
I think for next year we need to figure out the appropriate way to decorate for National Trail Running Week.
We need to do that. And if you have ideas, throw a picture on. I'd like to see, I would love to throw up just this little teeny, tiny table.
Yeah.
With just maybe a couple gels, a couple M&Ms, a couple gummy bears. Like your idea of an aid station for National Trail Running Week.
Right. And then you have a little banner or something.
And tree, you got to have a little tree.
It has to be an aspen tree. That's no.
And it's got to.
You cannot compromise on that.
And it's got to have a thick enough branch that'll hold your shorts.
Yes.
So it's got to be dialed in. So
that's going to be our next logo design for a T-shirt.
That would be awesome. That would be fun to explain to people, right?
Exactly.
Why are those shorts hanging on that tree? Oh, you've never met Eric ever.
Yeah, exactly.
I still get that from people, man. People post it on social media, see a selfie, where are my shorts? Or I don't know. It's pretty funny. It's good to be known for something.
Right.
Cheese
shorts and a roll of toilet paper on the lower branch.
A bag of cheese curds.
That's right.
And an IPA. That's me. I need that logo. Me in the woods, drinking an IPA.
Kind of your head poking over the top of a log, looking around, see if anybody's seeing you.
Everybody's looking.
Yeah.
Oh, we have too much fun on this show, man. Oh, I like that idea, though. Celebrate National Trail Week with some type of thing, Elf on a Shelf. You can do
exactly. Okay, see, this actually turned out to be a much better segment I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, because we were kind of what do we talk about? This is good, National Trail Running Week.
All right. So we got that dialed in.
I got to circle that. I got to put it on my calendar because we'll forget in 2 weeks. So.
And of course, there needs to be gifts associated with this, right?
Yeah.
So you got to give your best running buddy a gift.
Yep, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Which is, we'll go back to Squirrels Nut Butter would be a good one. You know what? And I'm going to say, Well, let me give you give your story, Squirrels, because I have one that's really cool too.
Okay, so like I said, my boy is running cross country, and I haven't done my due diligence on my part to prepare him for running cross country. Gotcha. I just knew that they were having a little club, and I signed him up for it, and I haven't even bought him shoes yet. He's just running whatever he's got in his closet. And then his shorts. Yeah, dude, I don't care if they're Crocs, just as long as he's out there running. And then he's out there running in his like little basketball shorts he wears to school and his little cotton tighty-whities.
Oh, my gosh. Dad.
Yeah, I know, right? So this past Monday, the kids had to run quite a bit. They had to do a scavenger hunt. So they had teams of 2. And in Mount Ogden Park, there's all these trees and picnic places, and so the coach had hidden all this stuff. And so you had to go from point to point to point and collect stuff and bring it back to home base. So the kids were running quite a bit, which was awesome to see. So later that evening we get home, and I can hear him and my wife talking about this rash that he's got. And then my wife goes, well, your dad's got that stuff. Ask him to get it so you can rub it on it. And so Porter comes walking down the hall, buck naked. Mind you, he's 9 now.
Bull-legged.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got this rash mark from his tighty whities on both sides of his legs. And he's like, Dad, look at this. And I'm like, oh, man. And then I start laughing because I have this visual in my mind. I'm like, oh, man, he's got to rub that stuff on there because I sure as hell ain't. And I'm like, do I have a fresh Squirrels Nut Butter? Because he is sure not using mine.
Yeah.
Right? And so I have one. And I give it to him. And he's like freaking lubing it up. And I am laughing. Because I never thought that, he would be doing this at his age. But it was awesome. Thank you, Squirrels Nut Butter.
Yeah, that's so funny. And the best part of the story is just watching you tell it. Because you're just like laughing in your own way.
Gosh.
So that's hilarious. And I want to thank Squirrels Nut Butter because we have had some major fire. It's called the Pole Creek Fire.
Oh, yeah, big one.
Big, huge, evacuating homes, just nasty. And we've had fire crews just round the clock. Huge Utah, biggest fire in Utah. Fellow runner, great guy from Salt Lake, Ben Corrales.
Yeah.
He knew that these firefighters, they always need stuff, right? Like wet wipes and, just
They're
stuff.
After, like, diaper rash cream, right?
Anything because they're out for days in heat and everything. Right. Well, Ben got a hold of Chris at Squirrels Nut Butter and said, hey, can I buy some Squirrels Nut Butter for these guys? Right. Chris sent him some, a whole box. I mean, that's just super cool, So I want to tip my hat again to Squirrels Nut Butter. We've known Chris for years. We've worked with him. He sponsored our trail running event. But, man, he's as real as they get.
One of the best guys in the business.
He really is. I mean, if you haven't had an opportunity to meet him and you get that chance, go out of your way to say hello, right? And support them. I mean, like I said, they don't do anything for the show. Just support Squirrels Nut Butter if you're looking for something. Joel mentioned if it's good gifts, we'll have our Christmas show obviously coming out later in the year. But love those guys and doing it for the right reasons. Yep. So thanks for Squirrels Nut Butter. What else we got going on? So. Oh, man, we've covered some good, fun stuff. Right. And I'm really stuck on this National Trail Running Week thing. Like, we're going to start something. That's ours, and we're going to do something cool, I think. We'll put some hammer on it. But the one race we do want to talk about is because it's here, and it's a beautiful race, right. Usually. The Bear 100 is this weekend. It is. And we've got so many people registered that we know. Right? It's really I haven't looked at the list yet. It seems like it's updating because people are coming off the wait list and stuff. Right. But there's a strong field. Yeah, that's what I was going to get to. Yeah, there's a strong field.
Who's up front?
Dominic Layfield's Hal Corner's running, so it'll be interesting to see what he does. Old school. Old Hal, man. Yeah.
Big cat.
Jason Coop is running. Oh. He finished 8th at Leadville this year.
Jason Coop's really good.
Yeah, so he's running. I mean, there's just a lot of some new names that have had success in the past. Zach Marion's running it. Yeah. Depends on his day. Right. But I said Dominic Layfield. He's running it. So I mean, it's going to be a competitive race. Yeah, that top end will be pretty competitive. And there's always people that come in that you're the unknowns. Yeah. It's usually somebody from Montana. It feels like, right? Yeah. In the past couple of years, you're like, oh, some dude from Montana won again. But it's just a beautiful race. The weather looks to be good. Except for Saturday. Let's get some rain. Here's a tip. If you're running that race this weekend, be mindful of your in and out of aid stations. Don't mess around. Get as much as you can done before Saturday rolls around. Yeah. Before the heat of Saturday rolls around. nuts.
And I've been told there's a lot of dust on that section
from
Beaver Mountain going north.
It's been dry.
We have no rain for the last 45 days.
But I mean, there's going to be some. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good race. There's some other names that you might want. Cody Draper from the area.
Yeah.
He's had a good year.
He's fast,
and he's always got something to surprise you with. There's some other name, a guy Pablo from Ogden. If he has a good day, he could do pretty good.
That guy's so fast.
Yep, if he could manage the distance.
And the heat. I think the heat, he's struggled in the heat in the past.
Brandon Days, Spanish Fork. He works at the run shop down there. He's had a good year.
Right.
Who else do we have? John Fitzgerald from Montana. Tyler Stewart from Highlands Ranch could fly under the radar a little bit in my eyes. But it's a good list. Mike McKnight's going to be there. Adam St. Pierre's going to be there.
Oh, man.
So there's Craig Lloyd's going to be there. Matt Van Horn's going to be there.
Yeah.
Depends on the recovery there.
Matt's like, okay, let's just get this done.
Yeah. So, it'll be competitive up front.
Yeah, it'll be good. What about on the women's side?
Women's side is who do we got on the women's side? So, Beaver. Okay, Liz Canty. She won the 100K at Beaverhead this year.
Okay.
So
you pretty much need to give it to her.
Yeah,
as long as she's healthy.
But Caitlin Gerbins, she took second at Western this year.
Oh shoot!
So obviously different
those
course.
Those two are going to be tearing it up.
But yeah, those two are a couple names that pop to mind for me.
Yeah.
Again, it really is kind of who has the day, who you're familiar with the course. Leah Yingling, she could have a good day out there. I don't know as many names on the women's side this year that are in there, but if you go to Ultra Sign Up and look, and you go by kind of their time,
right?
There's 4 or 5 people under 24 hours that they think for the women's side.
Yeah.
And then you've got Amy Blackham's running.
She's always
here,
solid.
And she's just consistent and solid. A lot of runners on the women's side that could do well at that race. So it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing how people come away from the Bear this year. What else we got? Another thing is coming up here in our area, and I tell people, he's a friend of ours. He's been on the show. James Varner's got his Trail Running Film Festival touring right now.
Right.
He's actually coming to Salt Lake City on November 13th, but he's coming to Ogden on November 12th.
Nice.
And I think both of those, I think Ogden will sell out because it's a smaller venue at Broovies.
Right.
And in Salt Lake, I got tickets to both nights because I bought Salt Lake before I knew he was coming to Ogden. Then he sent me an email, hey, I'm coming to Ogden. I'm like, damn you.
Yeah.
But he's touring the country, and that's always fun. And James is one of the best as well. Great race director. He does it for the right reasons. Serious runner. So hope everybody can support that. Look, I think it's the Trail Running Film Festival put on by Rain Shadow Run Company. So look for it in your area. If it's not in your area, you want to see it, I'm sure you can contact him.
You can come to Ogden.
Yeah, come to Ogden. Come say hello. We have beer. In Ogden.
We have beer.
We have beer.
That's our motto.
We have beer.
We have beer.
We have beer. In fact, speaking of beer, I talked with Brandon at Roosters, and I got one of their new shirts because I'm digging their new branding.
That new branding's so awesome.
It's awesome. So
I got the hat with the little rooster on it.
I'm waiting for the hats to come back in because they're sold out. But I want to work with those guys with their new canning place.
Yeah.
Say, hey, what if we did a show like once in a while there? Can we do something cool?
I bet you I'll talk. If I see him today, if he comes in and works out today, I'll talk to him about that. That would be nice to kind of have that be the Singletrack Session.
Yeah, the home base.
Yeah.
That'd be fun, and then when people come into town.
They have like a tasting room there, something like that.
I think they have quite a bit of space.
Yeah, you got a lot of space,
and they got an amphitheater going in. So it'd be kind of a fun place for TrailManners to have like their own little hub.
Yeah.
And we love Roosters, and again, they support us. And good beer. Oh, good food. Holy crap.
Yeah.
So I went there last week with my daughter, and I'm eating healthy, right? So I'm like, no deep fried cheese curds.
Right.
I was good.
Yeah.
I had the ahi tuna salad for the first time.
Oh, that's good. I like that one.
Oh, God,
it's a little spicy.
So
did you get
good.
the spicy
Yeah,
one?
I did.
I like that.
That was good. So, if you come to Ogden, check out Roosters. I'll just throw that shameless plug in there as well. What else we got going on? So,
Mm-hmm.
We had some sign-ups for our Nordic Valley 7K.
They're trickling in.
And
it's time for us to get serious about that marketing.
And I saw them at the grocery store, the person we work with, and we're working on some cool things.
The lady or the guy?
The lady.
Okay, good.
And she talks about the new ownership. The mountain's got new owners. And I'm like, I was kind of nervous at first. And she's like, nope, we're running it how he is. You know, they want you to actually work with you guys more to see what we could do there.
Okay.
But we got some things in the hopper that hopefully will pan out, whether you've registered or you're going to register. But it's going to be a fun day. It's Nordic 7K, December 15th. They are trickling in. We got some good support from some people in the area. We got somebody from Scottsdale, Arizona that just registered.
That was awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So that'll be it.
We need to be going down there at that time of year. Don't come up here unless you really, really want to run in the snow.
It's a great place for families. When you're done, you can just hang out right there. And speaking, Joe mentioned earlier, like the scavenger hunt his son went on to get the rash. Friend of our Trevor Fuchs, who we've had on the show, he's got this Thursday trash cleanup thing that's going super well.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
I've had the opportunity to go to that once. Hopefully get to go to that again tomorrow.
If he would change the night, I could go.
Thursday's tough for me, too.
Thursday, I'm working usually pretty late on Thursday, so that's why I haven't been able to go and have fun. But I like his idea of having trash pickup bingo.
So I was there the night they started talking about that. Because we found like drug paraphernalia.
Yep.
One of the guys, I can't remember who it was. They're like, "Hey, is this drugs?"
Yeah.
And he pulls up this baggie of pot that had been dried out. It's like some kids threw it because they got nervous. Like was coming. So we started finding weird stuff, and so Sean Wood was like, "Let's do a bingo night."
Hell yeah!
And so they put a little bingo card together, and I know this Thursday they're doing some cool stuff with Solomon. Steph Gardner's going to be there doing some cool stuff.
As part of National Trail Running Week.
Yeah, it was part from our new Trail Running Week thing.
Right.
But I know it's a great thing. Basically, we pick up trash for maybe an hour and we go on a run. I say I've done it once, but Trevor's been doing it all summer long, and hope to continue till the cows come home. So it looks like a lot of fun, especially for National Trail Running Week. All right, let's get into because we got some good Ask TrailManners stuff.
Okay.
So we're going to get in. First of all, let's go to our Strava week, and then it was my week for WDYFTY.
Right.
And I'll get into that. So this is last week for Strava, new name at top, Matt Swiontek, Swiontek.
All right.
I don't know who. First time he did 110.9 miles, run time 25:38, and vert came to Arturo Anaya 20,521. So, and Matt is from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay.
Because that was a new one. So I'm like, okay, who's this cat? So congratulations and way to go. So this week we had our WDYFTYs. It was my turn. And if you remember, or those that listen to the podcast, I know people may post WDYFTY but don't listen to the show.
Right.
Which I hope they do. But I said, it'd be cool to include an aspen tree. Like, that's not going to definitely be it.
But it's going to be it.
But it's going to be it.
Right.
And we had some great photos this week and from some new places. Paige Farnham. I know Eric had his run. Eric Thomas. Table Mountain. Looked amazing. I know, I wish I could have gone that day. Chris Carney was up there. Bill Skernjank was up there. Cade Brown is still killing it back east. He's in Maine. Got the ocean with a nice sunset. Amy Butler got some photos in Vermont of the Groton Forest Trail Run area. Lee Moss had a good one. Golden Aspens, so he followed along. He kind of Little Cottonwood Canyon. Tommy Barlow, he's just, hey, this is my backyard, just in Ireland on the coast. Yeah, that must be tough.
They're almost done with their stint in Ireland, and they'll be back here.
I thought they were gone for like 2 years or something.
I did too, but I just saw the other day that he posted something like, oh, yeah, we're almost done.
Oh, must be drinking all the Guinness.
Yeah, right.
Drew Scoggin, representing the Beast Coast, Table Rock 50K in North Carolina. We had one from Georgia. Another one from Teton County, Wyoming. Megan Martinez had some amazing shots. D. Wolf on Ben Lomond Peak, which was cool. Helen Montana from Bow. Oh, this one was really nice. Krista Alderdice, Green Mountain State. That's all it has, and it's beautiful, just photo.
Green Mountain State's Vermont?
That's what I'm thinking, too. Because she's won before. It's Vermont. Hidden Valley Trail, Adams Canyon. Where's the one I was looking for? Got Christopher Fell in Germany again. Germany's beautiful.
I think Andrew north of the wall.
Yeah, he's on here.
Yeah, he had a good one.
Sarah McCloskey, Chamonix.
Chamonix.
Cincinnati, Ohio, Chris Larson. I didn't know they had trees I'm not as familiar with Ohio as
they have
I should
a crap
be.
ton of trees in that part of Ohio.
Mount Airy Forest. Craters of the Moon. Where was the one I was looking for? Christopher Pack. He did some stuff. He's wearing his TrailManners buff.
Stuff.
Yeah, he did some stuff on the Lone Cabin Double Track. We got a lot from Idaho. Eric Thomas's birthday. He killed it for his birthday.
Yeah, he did.
So here's one. I'm not sure where it's at. The top of Shivano, heading over to Tabaguac. What? Tabeguache.
Okay.
I don't know where it's at. Many places. That was Autumn. I can't pronounce this. Islib is the last name, so I'm not sure where. Jeff Hart, stop. You're killing me, dude. He's up in South Crest Trail in BC, Canada. Come on. And him and his wife, oh my gosh, some great stuff. Our buddy Stacy Barker, man, he's got his TrailManners hat on. Gibson Jack, yep, and his family. Where was the one I was looking? Alex Terrell had some great Quakies. She's won before. Big Cottonwood Canyon. Aaron Hill said, did someone ask for Quakies?
Yeah.
Some killer shots. Logan River Trail. Oh, here's the one. Neil Brannigan Fuller.
Okay.
From South Africa. I like that. I like when we get them from another country.
Right.
But the winner this week did have some Quakies in their photo, and it's kind of a funny inside joke for me a little bit, even though this person doesn't know my inside joke. It goes to Marci Pearson. She has not won before. She just crushed Wasatch, I guess, a couple weeks ago. I guess, I know. It was a Wasatch Crest Loop on Dog Lake.
Oh, yeah.
And it was beautiful. And the inside joke for that for me is I've run Wasatch 3 times.
Right.
It's the only time I've been in that area, and I paced a good handful of times up there.
Yep.
But one year, a really fast runner said, hey, will you pace me from Lambs? And I thought, no.
Yeah.
But he needed somebody, and I'm like, whatever. If you drop me, you drop me.
Right.
It was Christian Johnson.
Okay.
Awesome guy. So I paced him one year from Lambs. So we were running. We got to Upper Mill Creek, and we were running towards what's the next one, the cold one before you go up Scotts Ridge? Deso Lake. Right? So we're running, and I was ahead of him. I'm pacing him, it's dusk, and I look over. I'm like, oh, cool, check it out, a lake.
Yeah.
And he stops. He's racing, and he looks at me. He's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, that's a Dog Lake.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, cool. He goes, you've run this before, right? And I said, yeah, nighttime.
And I've only come faster at night.
I'm like, I've never been up here in the daytime.
Yeah,
exactly. He's like, dude, these are awesome trails. I'm like, I know I've been on them, but during the course, it's a long way to drive.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a joke, and it's gone on for years because everybody's like, hey, look, a lake, Eric. And I'm like, shut up, man. It makes sense when they say Dog Lake, but I've never seen the lake because it's been nighttime. So, Marci Pearson, go ahead and send me your mailing address, manners@trailmanners.com. We'll go ahead and get that right out to you. Congratulations. And here we go, some Ask TrailManners stuff. So we got 3 questions and a response.
Okay.
I lied. Yep, no, I didn't. We do. Okay, so here's the first question, and 2 of them are, one of them's anonymous. I know who it is, but it's anonymous.
Okay, we'll keep it anonymous.
The first one says, where would I have a good chance to meet you guys at a race next year?
Okay. You go first on that.
Gib Wallace.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. I can verify that for myself as well.
Yeah. So Gib Wallace, we put it on.
There we go.
That's the only confirmed verification.
Yes.
If someone, I decided if someone wants to sponsor me, I'll run Trans Rockies because I've always wanted to run that. I just don't have $3,000 or $2,000.
Or
so
whatever it is.
If we got a sponsor, I'm in. Other than that, there's a lot of question marks, and I know we talk about it every year.
Right.
If you wait too long, you don't get into your race.
Ah.
There's just a few. There's some I'm looking at, but nothing
Right.
solidified.
Gotcha.
Bear, obviously, one day.
One day.
Black Hills 50, I'm really looking into because I'm taking my daughter to Mount Rushmore. Let's see, El Vaquero. I'm trying to think.
Sounds pretty good to me, all those.
I want to get up to the Pacific Northwest again.
Yeah, but just go run, don't race, right?
Yeah. I kind of want to run Candace's Orcas Island race. What
time of year is that?
That one is in May.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't have a solidified schedule yet, and I should have a better idea because stuff does sell out. But I don't. I don't have a solidified. So get back with me on that.
Yeah, exactly.
But we should have a good idea, or you can just say where you're going to be, and I'll tell you if I'll be anywhere near
that. There you
that.
go.
How's that? Or Joel will be.
I don't have any plans right now.
I don't.
It depends on when I get my MRI in my knee. That'll be my direction.
Yeah.
Where I'm going.
And if I sell my house, it'll give me a better direction too. Because if I have a different car, I'll drive more.
Yeah.
So good question, though. And we'd love, you know what, post where you're going to be next year, everybody. Let's hear where people are racing next year on this Facebook Singletrack Session. I'd like to see. The next one, okay, this is from somebody. Okay.
This is from somebody.
Yeah, like I can say who it's from.
Okay.
There's one that's anonymous. I want to make sure I don't mess up. Okay.
Yeah.
Dear Eric and Joel, what techniques have you guys used to successfully get past the do I quit or do I keep going crisis moments in ultras? I am at my weakest just before and during aid station visits.
Oh.
I'm looking to shore up my internal defenses for the future. Thanks, Patrick Forsyth. Patrick's from Colorado. He's come out to Utah a lot to do races.
Yeah.
That's a great question, and I would love to hear people's response to this because, you know, his is a little more specific, where it talks about just before and during station visits.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So if I had to answer that just with what you're saying, that's a great question, and I think it's different for everybody. Mm-hmm. I think if it's an aid station and you're lucky enough to have a crew, just beforehand, tell them don't let you drop and don't let you stay.
Unless you're like got a bone sticking out.
Yeah, and then that's, you know, depending on if there's aid there to push it back in.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that's if you're at an aid station and you have the luxury of having a crew there, just let them know beforehand, hey, don't let me drop and don't let me stay long in an aid. The longer you're there, the more you have to think about it.
Right.
And I think before aid stations, what I've done, which has been successful for me in the past, so I'm coming into an aid station, I'm kind of like, you know, how long is to the next one, right? And if it's like, you know, think of that in your head. It's like, well, if I get through this one, I've only got 5 miles, and I always go back to our 22nd Street training runs. I'm like, you know what, that's only to like the bench and back, right? And
something
I'm like,
like that.
That's not bad.
Right.
So I kind of play games in my head with if I know the distance, kind of something I run at home that I'm used to running and go, oh, that's not bad.
Right.
Even if I walked that, it would only be this.
Right.
So that's one thing. And then knowing your aid stations, because there's some that you just can't drop from, or you're going to have to sit there for 3 hours to get a car ride.
Right.
You know, or whatever it might be.
I've done that before.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's different for everybody, and I think it's different for whatever race you're doing.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it's just getting in and out of aid stations quickly is important.
Right.
The longer you sit, the more relaxed you are. And it's like, well, this is kind of nice sitting down, and I shouldn't have to run.
Yeah.
But just playing that mental game in your head. You know, number one, do I quit or do I keep going? I think always it should be you should keep going. Should be your first thought.
Yeah.
Unless, like Joel says, you got some serious, and you know your body. You know what's an injury and what's just like
legit thing that's going to keep you from racing for the rest of the year.
Yeah. So I think a lot of it is, you know, just kind of in your mind, and those are kind of things I have used and I would recommend. Not that they're solve all, but I think everybody's got their own thing.
Yeah.
Write yourself a little mantra on your shoe.
Yeah.
You know, that you can look down at and go, oh shit, I can't drop here.
Right.
You know, or just start telling little kids, you know, random little kids that aren't feeling well, hey, I'm going to finish this race for you, and then you feel guilty and you have to go.
Right. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to hit a home run for you today, kid.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I don't know, Joe, you got anything to add for Patrick on that?
I don't really think so.
I mean, everybody goes through that.
Yeah,
so it's normal.
Gosh, yeah. We've done that on Vaquero Loco.
Yeah.
You know, we almost quit running.
Yeah, we almost were.
2 years ago.
I mean, if I'd had a tent, I would have just stayed where I was.
Yeah, we just both were having a rough day, and, you know.
I went home, but
we got through it.
Paddle.
Yeah.
I haven't used it.
You get through it.
Yeah, you do. And that's the other thing. It's like, and that's what I did this year. That's a good point. This year, more than what I've ever done, is I just think of time.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, you know what? In 4 hours, I'm going to be home anyway.
Right.
Right? Even if it should take me this time. If it takes me 4 hours, I'll just be home. In 4 hours, I'll be sitting on my chair at home, regardless. So I'm like, you know, I can do this. I work for 8 hours a day. Yeah. Whatever you do, 4 hours is nothing. Okay, now here's the tough one, and this one I would love.
Is this anonymous?
Yes.
Okay.
And I want to hear, and this isn't just for this person. I've heard this quite a bit. Mm-hmm. I've dealt with it myself. So if you have a response, I don't know, maybe you could send it to me.
Okay.
If you want to be anonymous, send it to me. I'll post it on Facebook, but I won't say who it's from, and it'll just say it looks like I'm saying it, relaying it, or you can post it either way.
So you take the blame.
I will, but it's not. Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely.
I don't even know what you're talking about yet.
You will, and you'll know why I'm saying all this.
Okay.
But it's a serious thing, and it works for both sexes.
Uh-oh.
Ready?
Okay.
All right, guys. Here's the tough one for you.
Okay.
How does one have running friends of the opposite sex and do trail races with them without pissing off your significant other. Thanks. Yeah, you don't need my name out there for this one. So,
oh man,
this is a big one.
This is huge.
And I've had people ask me this before.
Shoot.
So basically, how do you have running friends of the opposite sex and do trail races with them without pissing off significant other? And I think that could go trail races and training runs.
Yeah.
Right? Let's go that route.
Gosh.
And I don't know if there's a straightforward answer simply because everybody's different. Relationships are different.
Mm-hmm.
Some people absolutely have zero issues. Right, like
there's so few people,
or they
have that,
appear
right?
to have zero issues on the surface, but then they get home and it's different. And this is both ways. This is men running with women and women running with men, and I think sometimes it's more difficult when the significant other is not a runner.
Yeah,
because you spend a lot of time with these people in some great places,
right?
So I mean, it's not like I don't get it, right? And I think everybody, I shouldn't say. A majority of people probably have this, right, and might have done things. So, anonymous, I don't know how, to be honest with you. I think it's just between you and your partner.
If your training partner can become good friends with your significant other,
that helps.
That helps.
Yeah,
I think that's the only way. But to be honest, I don't think there is.
It's tough.
Tough, man. I got nothing on this. Sorry.
And I'm not trying to pigeonhole anything, but I have noticed and this again, there's no statistics out there, but this is me, just being, from 10,000 feet observant.
Yes.
I think different parts of the country are different as well.
Okay.
Like I think.
How so? Give me an example.
Ogden, Salt Lake City, I think, is different than San Diego, for example. I've talked to some people down there. That's why I'm throwing that one out there. Okay. People's mentality is a little bit different.
Right.
But I think Joel kind of hit it, too, is that friendship mode. Like, we've had running groups in the past, and we've done stuff as a group. And, hey, significant others come, we're having a barbecue, we're having a party, we're having this or that.
Right.
I think that really helps.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, from my experience, which is fine, significant other can feel threatened, right?
Oh, gosh,
you have more in common with this person. Oh, they're, they look this way. You have so much in common.
Right.
You're having fun.
Well, there's a shared experience on the trail and during a race that's not happening at home.
Yeah, and I guess on the flip side of that, I mean,
unless your significant other is a runner.
Yeah.
They don't understand.
Yeah, and it's not the same thing, but because you can't compare it to anything, but it's like you work with opposite sex every day, so you spend more time in a most depends on your job, but let's just say it. Most people work with people, so you sit like I don't. I sit
you work with a computer.
Yeah, me and my computer tight, and I have two computers, and they get jealous of each other.
They do.
But yeah, I mean, you're in an office 8 hours a day or more with the opposite sex,
right?
And you still have that same where you bond commonalities,
because almost in a way you're spending more time with that coworker.
Than your significant other.
Yeah, right.
And so this can happen anywhere, right? I mean, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Right.
But I understand what this person's saying because I think
I do too.
I've been through it. I know a lot of people have, but I don't know if there's a code to break this. It's really your individual relationships.
I'm interested to hear what other people have to say
because
about this.
it's a big thing.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
We've talked to a lot of people off mic who are struggling with this because their significant other is struggling with it.
Yeah.
They don't understand it. They feel threatened, and it's tearing people up.
Yeah. But I think Joel kind of hit one of the key components, in my opinion, is if they know the people you run with on a more personal level,
right?
They might not feel as threatened, or they might bond with them. There's some personal connection there, so they know. I think that helps.
Right.
I'm not saying it solves everything.
Yeah.
It could fire the other way. It's like, oh my God, that person's amazing, and you run with them.
Yeah.
It could be something like that. But that's a great question, and I'm with Joel. I'd love to see what other people's thoughts are or how they manage it, right? Because we know a lot of married couples that run.
Yeah.
And obviously people that run
they both run, but maybe they can't run together because of kids and schedule conflict.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of variables to this, and I'd love to hear the answer. But it's a great question.
Yeah, dude, I've got like this 10-foot pole. I'm just standing back, just gonna watch this with some popcorn.
Watch this unfold. So that's a great question, and yeah. I'm with Joel. I'd love to see some comments on how they do it. And like I said, if you don't feel comfortable, if you post on Facebook and obviously post your name, just email it to me, manners@trailmanners.com. I'll post it. Won't tell your name. Like, here's what someone thought of, or here's what I think, and I'll just own it, whatever. I can't get in trouble. But now we're going to go to a response. So we ask these Ask Trail Manners. We get asked, and we answer them, and we don't get a whole lot of follow-up. I tried it. Yeah, follow-up. That's it. But we did get one from Steve England.
Right.
And so Steve mentioned to us a month or so ago.
More than that.
Yeah, he was coming up on a 50-mile race, but he'd had a rough year.
Yep. Minimal training.
Minimal training. It wasn't an injury, which we originally thought it was. It's just a thing. He just said he had he gave me this long thing. I'm just going to read some highlights of it that I think will highlight it. Yeah.
Dude, that is like 10-point font, single-spaced.
I know I should have blown it up, so I can't read it very good. But he thought, hey, I thought I'd shoot you an email with a follow-up of my Ask Trail Manners question from a while back regarding my first 50-miler.
Right.
The race was the Iron Mountain Trail Run in Virginia. Yeah, VA. They had a 50, a 30, and a 16. So he registered for his first ever 50-miler, and we told him to run 30.
We did.
We
said that was our suggestion.
That was our, but we kind of, and to our defense, a little bit, we thought he was injured.
We did.
And so that kind of put us there. But I stand by what I think I said.
Oh, absolutely. We had his best interest in mind.
And so he talked about it, and he said he'd been wanting to it, but things didn't happen. He says, the leading up to the race, I definitely tapered up.
Yeah.
You all recommended dropping down to 30 due to training, and a friend of his suggested the same thing.
Yeah.
So we weren't all by ourselves. Saying that he could use the win, quote unquote, of finishing confidently. And I know exactly what they mean because I've used those exact terms.
Right.
He said he decided in his head, and more importantly, in his heart, that he was going to go for the 50.
Gotcha.
And in the likely chance that I wouldn't finish it, I would at least get 30.
Right.
And he said he ended up making it to mile 32. So basically, long story short, he had some stomach issues, some bathroom issues. Looks like he might have had to hang his shorts in a tree.
That is the worst.
But after a while, he felt great, but the clock was against him. So he'd been having some problems, so he's probably run up against cutoffs.
Yeah.
Long story short, he dropped. He said his legs felt good, but he didn't have the time.
Yeah.
He just dealt with too many things early on.
Gotcha.
And here's the end of it, which is pretty good, and this is what I want to talk about. He says, I was a little surprised at my ability to not be frustrated with the whole situation. I think that I knew where I was when I started the race, and I was going to just see how it shook out. Now, that's huge, because I struggle with that still, because I'm competitive with myself.
Gotcha.
So that's a great thing. He said, it's his first DNF, maybe not my last, but I'm glad I went for it. I learned a few things, and we've talked about this. So number one, just because something seems out of reach, even if it is, it can be worth going for. I like that. Number two, trail running really is like therapy for me. I probably should remember that when things in life get tough and not neglect it like I did this summer.
Right.
So he said he neglected running because things were going hard, which I have done this year.
Oh, yeah.
He says, I've always known about trail running, but allowed myself to forget. Number three, having friends who know the difficulties in your life, still encouraging you to try tough things and being there for you at the finish line, even if you got to ride there in a minivan, go a long way. I had a lot of conversations with friends who are trail runners and who were also running the race, and they were part of making the difference between what could have been a pity party or just a long day out on the trails enjoying creation and good company.
Right.
I'm incredibly thankful for them. Thanks for your advice. Maybe next time I'll listen to you guys. So basically he didn't listen to us, but he came away.
He still got 30 miles in.
Yeah, he came away with the 30 miles, and he mentally, I think, is where he won personally.
Oh, for sure.
One of my favorite parts, though, he says he got to see a lot of friends at the finish.
Yeah.
Slammed down a double cheeseburger and a beer. Yeah. Yes, it was an IPA. And then he got to enjoy the rest of the afternoon relaxing with friends. So
that's the best.
I think there's some great things from Steve to take from that. And I it's so funny. It's like I've had probably one of the most challenging years I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I did run more races this summer probably than I have before.
Right.
But I did get away from running because I was almost like the pity party. I just didn't have go for it. I didn't have I want to do this. And it is my therapy. When I get running, I'm like, oh, I needed this to clear my head.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get my foot out the door a lot of days.
That's so true.
So it's kind of like this reverse thing. Like, I know it's good for me.
Right.
I know I need it. But, man, it's just that first step. Right? So if you make that first step, I think, like Steve said, it's great therapy. And I think that's why a lot of people do it. That's why so many people, you talk about addiction, do it. You know, it helps that. But it is that first step, I think, is the hardest. Getting out the door.
It is.
Once you're out the door, it becomes easier.
Right.
And I think when I had people to run with, like running with you, it made it easier. Like, oh, I've got to be there, that person's. But when it's like I'm planned on a run by myself, it's like
you're like pushing it off until later in the day, and then it never happens
because now I got to go pick up my daughter, do whatever.
Or I have burrito and I can't run.
Yeah. So I think Steve just brought up some great things, and it's a great reminder to all of us. Just number one, why do you run? I think that's it. Do you run because you enjoy it? Do you run because you have a race coming up? Do you run because you have to? You know, so keep that in mind. And I want to say thanks to Steve for not listening to us, and congratulations on conquering that. And it's just gonna make you stronger for the next one. You'll get your 50-miler.
Oh yeah, for sure,
and just a great attitude. So thanks for commenting on that. I think that's it for the week. We hope to see have our show with Mark Hammonds this week, so you should listen to that on Tuesday. It's going to be October soon, and I'm going to throw a shameless plug out, even though it always sells out. But if you want to run El Vaquero, which is still my favorite race of all time, it opens October 1st and sells out earlier every year, so don't wait on it. Ty's a good guy, and like Joel says, you never know when it's going to be the last.
That's true.
His kids are getting older. Two of them married off, and he's got the boy killing it now.
Yeah, he does.
Running, so.
Yeah. And 15's a good number to end on.
It is 15.
This is the 15th year.
Man, so 15 years. If I run, it'll be my 7th time running up there.
Right.
Almost, dang it. I can't. Oh, if he does one more year, I could do half, at least 50% of his races.
Halvesies?
Yeah.
Plus it would be 8.
Yeah. Oh, man. Volunteer. Yeah, that'd be good. Ty, 2 more years, buddy. Yeah. 2 more years.
2 more years, I'd have a 5-year buckle.
I want an 8-year buckle.
Yeah.
It looks like a number 8. But yeah, I think that's it for this week. No closing quote, but keep those Ask TrailManners questions coming, and please respond if you have some ideas for these questions on Facebook, or just message me. I think they're important. I think a lot of people struggle with the same things, and it's totally fine. And if again, any questions, if you just want to say, hey, can you post this, I will do it just to help other people out. Don't forget about National Trail Running Week. Throw some Squirrels Nut Butter on just for the hell of it in the office, just to know that you're a trail runner. And links will be in the show notes. And we'll catch you next week. Singletrack Session 108. This is 107. 108's next week. This is Eric and Joel, and we're out.